Hello students, welcome to the video of Advanced SQL. So in this video tutorial series, we'll be seeing about the various PLSQL programs and other stuffs. So first we'll start with the introduction. Initially, the SQL language had no programming constraints. So what it means? All these years we have learned C language, C++ and Java, all these things. So in every language, we'll be having some kind of variables, operators, control statements, functions. All these things will be available in order to do some programming. But in SQL, till now, we didn't learn any of these things. If we want to implement, we don't have any opportunity to implement. So initially, the SQL language didn't have any kind of programming functionalities. So in order to bring the programming functionalities, in order to overcome that particular problem, the SQL language were used along with the high-level programming languages to solve more complex applications. That is, in order to make the programming more interactive. So they started introducing the high-level programming concepts like control statements, or it may be a variable, it may be a function. So likewise, all these things were introduced inside the SQL, and it combines the both data manipulation power as well as the procedural power. So it contains both the things. So already we know that SQL has the data manipulation power of inserting, deleting, updating and selecting the records. Along with that, we are also providing the procedural power, that is the control statements, operators, variables, functions, all these procedural power of all the programming languages combined with SQL. So that provides us the language which we are going to see. It is known as the PLSQL, and this particular language was developed by Oracle in early 90s, and PLSQL is a superset of SQL. So what does the PLSQL mean? PLSQL means procedural language or SQL. So this was the methodology which the Oracle Corporation developed in the early 90s. So PLSQL is the superset of SQL. So after SQL, the PLSQL has come, and it supports many program features. For example, variables, constant declaration. So we can declare variables on our own. We can even use constants on our own. And not only that, we can also use some control structures like if statements, for loop, and we have some procedures. Procedures are nothing but like functions, and we can also use the functions and the exception handling. So there's a difference between the procedure and functions, which we'll be learning in the upcoming videos, and even it provides the difference between the exception handling that can be used in this SQL. So in a nutshell, PLSQL is nothing but a programming language that can be implemented in an SQL language in order to provide more interactivity. I hope you understood this. Next, we'll see the advantages of PLSQL. So what are the various advantages? Number one, PLSQL is a block structured language. So what is the meaning of block? Each and every program written in PLSQL will be written in a particular block. A block will be like a function which will do only a particular task. It will not do more than a particular task. So every block is dedicated to do only one particular task, just like a function in C language. And these blocks can be stored in the database and reused, just like function. Just now I said that. So we can create those blocks and we can store in the database, and any number of times we can reuse that particular block. So inside that block, whatever we want to write, we can write, and instead of executing them separately, PLSQL will execute them together. And PLSQL helps in reducing the network traffic. This is what I've said just now. Instead of executing them one by one, we can execute all together so that the network traffic will come down to a greater extent. So the server at a time, it can service many kind of statements. But without using PLSQL, server processes the SQL statements one at a time. So every now and then it will process only one statement at a time if we don't use PLSQL. So that will take up a lot of time in the server, and it will increase the huge network traffic. And what are the other advantages of PLSQL? PLSQL also provides certain functionalities where you can use procedures and functions. So they are known as modules over here, and they are also called as subprograms. So what are these procedures and what are these functions will be learned in our upcoming videos. And PLSQL allows the control structures. Just now in our previous slide I said that we can use if statement, for loop, any kind of control statement that we have studied in our C and C++. The same statements can be used here also, provided the syntax will be a little bit changed. The applications written in PLSQL are portable. So whatever you write in PLSQL, you can execute that in any environment. It doesn't mean that you have to execute it only in the same platform where you are writing the program. And PLSQL handles the errors. So whatever the errors or exceptions are present, PLSQL can handle it efficiently and effectively. So these are the various advantages of PLSQL, and in the next session we'll be seeing about the block structure of PLSQL. Thank you.